Hello, good evening. We are good to go. Good evening. All right, we are hanging out at my wall tonight so we can get a little bit of variety and mobility. So, wish you guys could see my computer and phone setup right now. If it spontaneously collapses, you will know because everything will just crash down. So, we are going to start. You're either going to grab a larger ball or one of the smaller balls, and you can use a book or a yoga block as we start to get closer to the wall. The reason for that is some of the stuff we're going to do requires you to face the wall, and it sucks to have your face hitting the wall before the ball does, but I'll coach you through that a little bit. So go ahead and find a space on the wall. You can do some of this in a doorway depending on how much space you have, but we're gonna start actually on the side of your shoulder here, your deltoid. This muscle works a lot, and our rotator cuff tendons are interwoven in between the muscles and can get stuck to each other and create some discomfort, okay? So we're gonna start at right underneath the shoulder here, and I'm gonna lean up against the wall, and I'm gonna roll to the back of the arm and then to the front. And just peeling all the way across. Nice and slow. You may feel as it bumps across some of those tendons that you'll just feel kind of like a shift over some tissue, and that's okay. Those are the stuff that we want to work on. Probably years of tightness in that area. And then let's also do a little bit of up and down movement here. We can come a little bit on the front of the shoulder too. So if I face the wall, I can come up and down like that. I can also do that same thing, but on the back side. Oops. Warming up that area. Even if you go kind of to the back of your armpit a little bit, you'll hit some spots. And then let's actually drop a little bit lower than you would think. So this muscle comes down and meets right about halfway through your arm bone here. So we're gonna go right up against the wall here. Getting a death stare down here from my dog. I think this is my 4th video of the day. So right over, there's almost a dimple area right there where it hangs out. Up and down. Now here what you can do a little bit is that pin and stretch that we've done before. So you hold a tender spot, bend your elbow, and come back down. Roll kind of to the back side of that arm. Same thing. There we go. And then now we're going to actually go to the front of the bicep here. So this is where we have to kind of get into a larger ball or a book, something like that. We're going to go up and down, and you're going to roll in between this area here, even all the way to your elbow. So I'm coming here. This area gets really tight if you stand with your arms crossed all day, if you hold your phone in your hand all day, just having that arm bent. And come out to the side a little bit here too. Get all the way in that crease. Okay, let's give that arm a little break. Do a couple of arm circles with that side. So nice and big to the back. Couple to the front. And then we're gonna go to the other side. So we are peeling sideways here. See if I can show you. We're gonna stay on this wall. We're gonna use this wall. So rolling to the front, all the way to the back. This week we're gonna be donating part of the donations that you guys are sending over. Thank you so much. To a group called Face of Justice. They are out in Costa Rica, and I went out there with a friend last year and did some essential oil education for them. They are a group that help women and kids post sex trafficking. And they reached out recently because the girls' immune systems are always super low, and so they need some more oils. So I'll be using some of those donations this week for them. You should look them up. They're awesome. Face of Justice, doing some really amazing things out in Costa Rica. So let's go up and down now. Don't forget to go to the front side of that shoulder. The back of the armpit there. There we go. So I think a lot of times people, as they're mobilizing, the wall seems like it's the easy way out because sometimes it's not as painful. But you will notice tonight that it is still pretty painful, and not that that's our goal, but it still can be very intense. And the fact that we're not searching just for pain when we're doing this, we want to alleviate some tightness by not just searching for the pain, but just working that area and getting fresh blood in there. So the wall doesn't always mean it's the easier route, but it is always a good modification. And you're just getting you're addressing tissue in a different way when you're not putting as much body weight pressure on it. So let's go down to that dimple area about halfway down your arm. Same thing, you can go side to side, up and down, nice and slow. We can add some of that bicep curl motion here. You can do palm face up. You turn your palm to face down, you'll feel it wind that area up a little bit more. Back and forth. And then we'll go to the back side of that arm here a little bit, get the tricep. Same thing, getting a different bend here. A little bit back and forth. And then we're gonna go onto that bicep. So you can work anywhere from up here all the way down to your elbow, facing the wall. Good. Come out to the side. That way you can go a little bit in a different direction when you come out to the side. You can go a little up and down. Okay, come on off of that. Let's do a few arm circles with that other side. Nice and big. Good, and then we'll go backwards, nice and big. Okay, so we're gonna move on to a little bit of chest and neck stuff. So let's start with the chest a little bit. What I'm gonna have you guys do is try to find a doorway here, and you're gonna lean into the ball. And if you can grab this chunk of tissue here, we're gonna roll on top of it, and then we're also gonna slide underneath it. So if we go right on top of that area, I'm gonna slide this. See, this is what I warned you guys of everything collapsing. There we go. Now you get to see my unmade bed. Okay. So we're going up and down here. So we're going over that chunk first, and then we're gonna try to sneak under it. So the doorway just allows you to lean your head forward a little bit more. You can try moving that arm behind your back, and that's gonna work that tissue in a different way. Kind of what we did a few last week, working on that running and walking position. This is a really nervy area. There's a lot of nerves buried deep into that muscle, so watch out for any tingling, numbness, anything like that. Listening to your body. Breathe. I haven't said that tonight, but always breathing. This area is really tight for me right now. Okay, we're gonna sneak under that chunk. So if you grab here, you can kind of feel a little bit of your rib cage in here. We're gonna try to slide the ball underneath there. So I'm gonna lean a little bit in from the side and push the ball in towards my chest. So we're getting even deeper into the nerves in there, so watch out for that tingling. I can't even move my arm with that one. So we're gonna hang out here, but if you can move your arm back, that's okay. There we go. All right, let's switch to the other side. So, right side, or opposite side, whatever side you didn't do yet, and just going right over that tissue here. Bring that hand behind my back. Go up and down. Okay, sneaking underneath that pec muscle here. So I'm gonna kind of come at it from the side. Sneaking underneath that muscle. I'll start with my hand down on the back, on the wall. And as we're doing all this stuff at the wall, the tendency is to kind of lean and get lazy. So just make sure your feet are in a good position. You're not arching your back too much. If you stand with your feet a little bit wider, it's sometimes easier to just be in a better position. So we're gonna go, we've done this with the Coregeous ball on here, but we're gonna go with a little bit of a firmer ball here. This is where you'll want the yoga block as well. But we're gonna go starting underneath your collarbone all the way across. So you're actually gonna roll on your sternum. So I'm gonna come here and just go completely side to side. I can try moving one arm up overhead as I do this. So it's gonna intensify the right side. Do that to the left. I can do both here. I can also bring my hands behind my back. So just play with those different positions, feel what your body needs. Go a little bit up and down. Okay, gonna come off of there. We're gonna move on to the neck now. So we've got the chest open, and what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna use larger ball. If you have only a smaller one, you can try with the yoga block here, but you'll probably wanna make your way into a doorway because we're still gonna be able to get into this spot. So this is one where you'll have to watch again if your back gets into a funky position, but I'm gonna take my trusty alpha ball here, and I'm actually going right on the top of my shoulder, and I'm just leaning into the wall like this. So I've got my legs pretty wide here, and I'm just leaning into that, and it feels heavenly. I can roll a little bit up and down, side to side. I'm really using my body weight to lean into the ball. I can move my head around a little bit. And then we're gonna sneak to the back side. So back here, so keep those legs nice and wide. And I'm just leaning back into that upper trap area. If this position bothers your back or your body at all, you can get closer to the wall. You may not get as much pressure, but that'll take some of that discomfort off of the body. I'm gonna get a little weird with my body to get a little more pressure. I'm gonna move my arm up overhead, maybe make a little circle, maybe come across my body. Go. Okay, I'll switch to the other side. I'm actually gonna just spin you over to the other side of the doorway because we're gonna use the doorway here at the end. So here I'm going front of the top of the neck. Go a little bit up and down. This is definitely an area you might have to give your body a second to sink into, especially if you've hit the tender spot. And you can add some of that movement. Move that arm a little bit. Move that head. And then let's switch to the back side here. So I'm gonna settle into this back spot. Maybe bring my leg just a little bit wider. Add some of that arm movement. Stuff always makes me think of, what's the bear's name? Baloo in the Jungle Book, scratching himself on the bear. Just feels so good. You can use the corner of the wall. Sometimes it's a nice replacement when you don't have a ball nearby. It's not ideal, but it's doable. All right, let's come on off of that. Now we're gonna do a little bit of fun in the doorway here. So there's a lot of benefit to our shoulder joint and just our body in general of hanging. I do not have a pull-up bar in my home, and most people don't. So I like to teach people how to do this with a door frame. So I'm gonna I'm gonna actually start here, right about shoulder height, and I'm just gonna step away. So I'm gripping the doorway, but I'm leaning away so there's a little bit of traction in the shoulder. So I can step that foot a little bit further away so there's a little bit more of a tug. And I want you to add a little bit of movement with your shoulder. So I'm gonna roll it forward, kind of dump it forward the way we don't really wanna hang out a ton, and then pull it back. And you're gonna feel that stretch different parts of your shoulder as you're pulling away a little bit. Just try to lean, and then we're gonna come up a little bit higher. As we keep going through these, if you need to take your arm down and shake it out, that's fine. We're gonna come up a little bit higher. Settle into that hang a little bit first. Lean. And then I can add some of that forward and back. And then we're gonna actually try, depending on how tall you are, if you can reach the top of your door frame here, we can be here. If not, you can just find another height down here. So I'm just here and I can kind of barely reach this. So if you can reach it easily, you can bend your knees, but even just me being up here is enough traction. So I'm just gonna hang here and I'm gonna turn my body in different ways rather than twisting my shoulder like I was doing before. Should feel this all over. And play with your leg position coming back. Still try to get that grip on the door frame so we're getting that stability in the shoulder so you're not just cranking on it. Okay, bring that arm down, shake it out. Checking out this doorway situation. I'm gonna come this way, so now you get to see the back side. So actually, we missed one on the right. We gotta go down lower. So we're gonna go lower on this right side. Step away. And then we can get some forward and back. This one's a little bit harder for me to roll, but even just leaning away, it's gonna get some good traction. You may even feel this into your armpit a little bit. Okay, now we can switch to the other side. So let's actually start on that lower spot here. I'm gonna turn, I'm gonna lean away, get some good pull in this shoulder. You can try some of that forward and back roll. So this one, the left one, I can actually feel stretching all the way down to my bicep, into my elbow. So just pay attention to where you're feeling those tender spots or tension spots, because that might be where you want to mobilize in the future. You might want to roll that area a little bit more. Okay, we'll come here, step away, some rolling back and forth. And then we'll sneak up a little bit higher. Remember, you can take that arm down for a second if you need to. I'm gonna shake my arm out, and then we're gonna go up to the highest one here. So I'm here, and you can see how I kind of have to get to my tippy toes to get up there. I'm here and just hanging, move my body a little bit. Creative movements here. All right, I'll bring that arm down and shake it out. So if you guys do have a pull-up bar at home, you can most definitely, I would practice hanging here. So even just bending your knees or lifting your feet up and just getting that hang and twist. You don't have to lift your feet up all the way. You can still get some good stretch with that support position as well. So thank you for hanging out tonight and giving your body some TLC today. Keep sending over the requests. It helps a ton, and I just love being able to gear this towards what you guys are feeling and what's coming up as life is changing and we're doing different hobbies and different exercises and we're in different positions. So keep me posted, and I will see you guys Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard. Have a good Sunday.